if 90 years was just the beginning. Life extension. It's the grand summation of all our work. Now, many wonder, is it safe, ethical? We say, meet Jupe. He's happy, healthy, and 105 years old. We've saved Jupe from the ravages of time. Now, he's helping us to save our own lives. The Hanso Life Extension Program, we're reaching out to a better tomorrow.
Hello, I'm Laird Granger, and welcome to Book Talk. Today we're talking to Gary Troop, novelist and non-fiction author, whose works include the Valenzetti Equation and his newest mystery novel, Bad Twin. Welcome, Gary. Nice to have you here.
Thanks. Glad to be here, Laird.
Bad Twin. What inspired the novel?
I was game fishing off the Florida Keys, and I got to talking to the boat captain. He started telling me about this other business that he had, which was ferrying people and things in and out of Cuba, illegally, of course.
Interesting.
Yeah, I thought he'd make a great character, and that was the spark that got the book going.
But the book's not really about him.
No, the boat captain is just a point of departure. But here's this guy. One day he's taking families fishing, and the next day he's making smuggling runs. And it was that duality that intrigued me, how we all have good and bad inside of us.
And is that what the title Bad Twin refers to?
Yeah, the book is a story about a private investigator named Paul Artisan, who's hired by this rich man to track down his missing twin, the supposed bad twin from the title.
But without giving anything away here, who is bad and who is good? That's all part of the mystery, isn't it?
Yes, very much so.
Your book mentions a lot of real-life people, places, and institutions.
Yeah, I try to incorporate real-life stuff into my fiction. Just gives it a lot more veracity.
Like Alvar Hanso and the Hanso Foundation.
Right.
Did including them have anything to do with your non-fiction writing?
Absolutely. I wrote a non-fiction book called The Valenzetti Equation.
About the reclusive Princeton mathematician Hanso Valenzetti and his famous theorem.
Yes.
At least that's what they say it's about. I have to confess, I can't find a copy.
Yeah, I know. I mean, first of all, it was a small printing. And allegedly, now I emphasize allegedly, Alvar Hanso bought up all the available copies, and he bought the rights to reprint.
Why would he do that?
It's a good question.
Your book was critical of him?
No. But as I was doing my research, I discovered that Alvar Hanso is the only guy in the world who has an actual copy of the Valenzetti Equation. Now, despite repeated requests, I was categorically denied access to it. In fact, no one outside the Hanso Foundation has access to it.
And what about inside the Hanso Foundation?
Right. From what I've been able to learn, even within the Hanso Foundation, the Valenzetti Equation is one of the most closely guarded secrets.
That must have made it hard for you to write the book.
And beyond that, look, at every turn, Alvar Hanso and the Hanso Foundation, they try to stop me from writing it. I mean, for whatever reason, they want to keep Valenzetti and his work a secret. They don't want the public to know anything about it. You know what? We're here to talk about Bad Twin.
Sounds like you've got your next piece of non-fiction in the works here.
Look, the Hanso Foundation promotes itself as bettering humanity. And that's all I'm going to say about it right now, because I am going to be writing a book about this. And I'll tell you this, as soon as people find out what's going on inside this huge, famous, supposedly benevolent foundation, yeah, it's going to shock you.
Tell me about Cindy.
This isn't going to air until after the book's published, right?
That's right. Mm.
Okay. All right, well, I'm an inveterate bachelor. I mean, I never even thought about coming close to getting married until, I started doing research for Bad Twin.
Which required lots of travel to Australia.
8 times, actually. Yeah, I'm kind of a research fanatic. And, a large part of the book takes place down there, so.
Well, of course, your love for deep-sea fishing and the Great Barrier Reef had nothing to do with it.
Hey, come on, that's research. Anyways, either coincidentally or by fate, there is this incredible woman, Cindy. She's a flight attendant.
The brute force of nature. Need we always live at its mercy? Life's tragedies. They bring pain, but they also bring understanding. While nature's fury cannot be checked, the human cost can be. With the Hanso Mathematical Forecasting Initiative, we're advancing warning systems and speeding disaster relief. At the Hanso Foundation, we're reaching out to a better tomorrow in which man and nature live in harmony.
I'm Hanso. If you're watching this film, you already know and have worked with Gerald and Karen de Groot, founders and masterminds of the Dharma initiative. By now, you also know there are many research goals for our joint venture. What you may not know is why we have assembled the Dharma initiative, why we have assembled the brightest minds in the world and given them unlimited funds and access. As with all you have already been told, you are bound by your honor and commitment to keep what you are about to hear a secret. In a few weeks, after your induction counseling and survival training, you and your colleagues will be shipped to a top-secret facility. The precise location of the facility is known only to myself, the de Groots, and a few high-ranking members of my organization. Why all the security? All the secrecy? The answer is simple. Your research is intended to do nothing less than save the world as we know it. In 1962, only 20 years ago, the world came to the brink of nuclear war. The United States and the Soviet Union almost fulfilled the promise of mutual assured destruction, a promise they continue to foster through a destructive Cold War. After the Cuban Missile Crisis, both nations decided to find a solution. The result was the Valenzetti equation, commissioned under the highest secrecy through the UN Security Council. The equation is the brainchild of the Italian mathematician Hanso Valenzetti. It predicts the exact number of years and months before humanity extinguishes itself, whether through nuclear fire, chemical and biological warfare, conventional warfare, pandemic, overpopulation. His results are chilling, and attention must be paid. Valenzetti gave numerical values to the core environmental and human factors in his equation. 4, 8, 15, 16, 23, and 42. Only by manipulating the environment, by finding scientific solutions to all of our problems, will we be able to change those core factors and give humanity a chance to survive. Although the equation has been buried by those who commissioned it, panic. It has always been my belief that we ignore warnings at our own peril, and thus the Dharma initiative was born. Dharma is an acronym for Department of Heuristics and Research on Material Applications. It also stands for the one true way. And through your research, you will help humanity. We have constructed several stations on the island, underground laboratories with the facilities you'll need to do your research with the optimal expediency. All of the support you will need, including regular medicine and food drops, will be made in perpetuity. A radio transmitter has also been erected on the island, broadcasting in a frequency and encryption known only to us. The transmitter will only broadcast the core numerical values of the Valenzetti equation. When, through your research, you manage to change the numerical value of any one of these factors, when you have created through science that we will know that the one true way has been found. That is the work to which you have committed yourself. Change the core values of the Valenzetti equation, and you will change the course of destiny. The fate of the human race is in your hands. Thank you, and namaste.
We all know what happened. The Dharma initiative failed. And in spite of every effort of the Foundation, we are gripped in the tyranny of those 6 numbers. We have tried to change those values by manipulating the environment in many, many ways. We have done our level best, and yet this inscrutable equation keeps bringing us back into the numbers. So now we have to take radical action. And I just want to tell all of you that I trust you to do what is best. The villagers of Falam and Bitu Alami have allowed us to test our vaccine on them. They think they're infected with a virus carried by local macaques, and they believe we are bringing them the cure. So when you go in, you have to keep up the story. You know it by heart. Don't waver. When the deaths begin, you must comfort everyone with compassion and empathy. And the bodies of the dead must be brought to this station immediately for full genetic workup. We must make absolute certain we are hitting precise genetic targets we have engineered into the virus. The optimal mortality rate is 30%. Our operatives at the Vic Institute have verified this figure. More or less people succumb, we have failed. We need not take any more lives than is absolutely necessary. Yes?
Tom, these are people, innocent human beings, and we're just...
You knew with mathematical certainty that you could end all famine, war, and poverty. What would you do? Exactly. You'd find the best way to get it done. Precisely, surgically, without allowing for any more suffering than is absolutely necessary. It is not fair that innocents have to die so that we can perfect this virus. But I promise you, someone is going to help. Is there something reflecting in the back?
Oh God!
Somebody grab her! You have an intruder!
No! Get out!